Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey, everybody, and woo! Yeah, more wooing, please.
Woo, we're
woo, woo,
Woo.
woo,
Woo.
on air. Woo. We're here at the Adafruit Factory where we woo. And I'm Lady Ada Wu, and this is Mr. Lady Ada Wu, and we manufacture electronics, we do tutorials, projects, guides, kitting, shipping, manufacturing, all that really good stuff that you know and love. Maybe you don't know and love it yet, but you will. We got an exciting show for you tonight. Next hour, full of electronic, open source, hacking goodness. Let's kick it off. Tell them what's on tonight's show.
On tonight's show, the code is Pinball, 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. It supports us, an open source hardware company. Here we are, New York City. We make stuff. Show and tell, people around the world showing and share their projects. Lady Ada will talk about what was on the show. Lots of Blade Runner projects this week. Yay. Pack your mailbags and stop by. Your letters to us. Time travel, look back in the world of makers, both in the past, present, and future. We also put some events in there now because events exist in time. In New York City, that's factory footage and more. Big announcement with Adafruit IO, yay! So Nimbus, the friendly cloud entity, is going to help us out with that. Some 3D printing, some microbidding, some Raspberry Piing. We've got new products. We'll answer your question. We have top secret.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have top secret. Going to give away something, all that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, let's pay some bills. Don't forget, code is Pinball. Use that on checkout. Everything except for gift certificates and AdaBox. You're watching Ask an Engineer. We do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Show and tell is just 7:30. Ask an Engineer is permanently going to be, well, until we change it, youtube.com/Adafruit/live. When you check out in your New York City and you have a zip code in Manhattan that we have same-day delivery, you can choose same-day delivery. Just make sure you do that before 11 a.m. Orders $200 or more for UPS ground in the continental USA. Internationally, we're also now offering DHL, and DHL to the following places: Canada, UK, Germany, France, Belgium, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, and Spain.
Yes.
Sales right through. Prepaid customs. Fees.
It's working out.
Yeah, it's working out. People like it. So we got that going on.
Great.
All right, next up. Show and tell Lady Ada.
We love the world.
People around the world. Show and share their project. Our favorite half an hour every week. What was on the show and tell this week?
A lot of Blade Runner projects.
Boo, boo, boo. Boo, boo. Yeah. That's great.
Okay, well, I'll do that, and you do other things.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kick it off. We had some Adafruit folks, JP from Adafruit West Coast, showing off this week's project that he published, the Gemma M0 pinball table, which is why the code is Pinball, using CircuitPython and extruded aluminum. We'll talk about that guide shortly, so stick around. We'll show some video and demo. Scott announces RC2, release candidate 2 of CircuitPython 2.0. Just released like right now, so if you are interested in testing out CircuitPython, check out 2.0. It's faster, it's better, lots of bugs are fixed. He's also announcing a new kind of project on Discord, if you're on Discord, which I know you are because it's our best premier chat channel. If you're going to Maker Faire New York, the Seattle Mini Maker Faire Open Source Hardware Conference, they're going to set up a program where people have a chat channel for the attendees, and then like he can give you status and
stuff. You know how you go to events, or at least this is how it's been for us. So Twitter's kind of turned into a mess. It's hard to use that to coordinate. You have to remember the symbols and the hashtags and everything. And group messaging is okay, but then you have to give out your phone number or whatever. So what you can do is you can use our Discord channel for these events and just let us know, and then everyone can meet up. So it's like a digital meetup all the time, but then it's a physical meetup, and then you're also able to talk to everyone.
Yep, and it's a good way to just coordinate without being in the general chat channel, which can get busy.
And our plan is for at least one event. So far, the Open Hardware Summit is to find Scott, and he'll give you a piece of hardware if he has any left.
Unclear which one.
That's the plan.
But we're going to give him a bunch.
It's the shape of a plan.
It's the shape of a plan. But we don't have a month to figure it out. Okay, Carson has a robotic hand that he modified with servos, and he's controlling it with Python using his computer with an Arduino. Mike showed off again his Minty Beagle Mega BGA Octavo board. So he built a couple of those. That was good. And then he took Scott's Feather Sci-Fi design and like kind of cut away a bunch of parts and made it kind of a minimal Sci-Fi breakout. Just the basics. It's on like Group Gets, which is I guess a share purchasing site. And also he might do a crowdfunding campaign. So he'll keep us up to date with that. But it looks really cool. Sci-Fi is kind of an open source ARM alternative. If you don't like ARM, or if you like ARM but you want something free. Matt D has an update on the Pi Glass. He's added bone conduction speakers so people can't hear what he hears because it conducts through his skull bones, which is pretty cool. And he's working on a new project, a remote controlled Pi arm with a camera on the end, and
That's
people
cool.
can program it remotely over the internet by VNCing in. So I imagine that just people are like, kind of like the scene in Hackers where they all log in and they're like controlling the robotic arm. It's kind of neat. Adam got some SEM action going. He got I think he said 1500 time magnification, which looks really cool. He's working on getting it to 10,000 magnification, which is amazing, and you can only do with the scanning electron microscope. So he's already getting beyond just what an optical microscope can do and getting into the scanning electron zone. But it's working. He's just fixing some things, getting, like I said, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So he hopefully by next week he'll get to the 10,000 time magnification. If you guys, ladies, whatever, watching, have conductive things that you want to get scanning electron microscope, log into Discord and maybe chat with Adam. Maybe suggest some things, or you can send him some things. He would love to, image things as long as it's conductive. It has to just has to be like coated with gold or metal or something. So it can be imaged. So the conductive things are the only things that work. Rebecca made a Gemma LED hat. She's going to work on a Spirit hat for school next. C. Scott is going to NobCon, but he has a CS80 clone for more Blade Runner joy, and he just showed that off, and he showed how he now has like an OLED display and all sorts of amazing technology that didn't exist when the CS80 first came out. And then Tom has shown off his VoigtConf machine build. Is now got a heart rate monitor that works over Bluetooth and connects to the Pi. So now he actually will be able to have your stats displayed, which I think is really neat. So you'll be able to spot replicants. He wants to get it done before the next Blade Runner movie comes out, which we're gonna have to see. Like, I definitely know we're seeing that in the theaters.
Straight up.
You're totally like,
yep.
I have that night booked.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do like a midnight showing?
Wherever it's first.
Whatever. First.
We'll get in the plane, and that'll be the only reason we get in a plane.
Yeah.
Is to find the international date line, and then go as close to it, and then find a theater that's...
Which is ironic because it's set in like 50 years in the future.
Yep.
Okay, that's show and tell.
Okay. All participants on the Show and Tell get an as seen on the Show and Tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com, and we will send you out a sticker. This is part of our Adafruit Live series of videos, and we've added even more to our live videos. So as we mentioned before, all of the chats for all of the videos that are streaming now live, it's adafruit.it/discord. One of the things that we like about this is you can hang out there all the time. We have our community helpers. People are doing code together. They're helping each other with projects. We're also starting to use it as a way to reward not the crazy contests that you like, oh, build something insane over a year and you get this big prize. No, we're going to celebrate things that happen to every single one of us constantly, always, forever. And that's little tiny failures. which is usually called experience now.
Yeah.
And what
Which
we're
was
doing,
how you build success.
yeah, and so we want people not to be scared to not only show if the project didn't work out, but sometimes, you know, you learn a lot from it when it's like, oh, like that's a good tip. So what we did was we have in our show and tell channel, or maybe anywhere you could do this, but I think the show and tell or project help one is the best. Just tag your beautiful mistake. Just put #Sparky, and we're going to be going through there soon, and we'll contact you in Discord, and we'll send you out a
Cute,
Sparky, the Blue Smoke Monster
friendly,
pen. Yeah,
adorable
mistakes were made.
Sparky pin.
So that's just one of the things we're doing for folks that are like, hey, like this project's working out, and just like this happened or whatever. It's just a way that we can say thanks for sharing. I think if everyone isn't scared to show their projects online, we'll see more projects online. So enjoy the mess. It's life.
Celebrate it.
Speaking of, so we emailed Discord, and they're pretty cool. We said, hey, can we give out badges or pins or stickers that have the Discord logo, because you have this branding guideline that says if you want to do something, email us. And so we did. And they made us a partner for Discord, and they also said this is okay. So we're going to have Adafruit ones for just folks that we know in the channel we'll give away, and then for our community helpers we have a special Adabot one. So we'll be making this soon, but that's a preview. That's hot off the press. They said okay. All right, other live stuff. Desk of Lady Ada. Desk of Lady Ada this week was a little different. So what we did, and this is a little weird, is we took the hack chat with Naomi and we broadcasted that, because sometimes it's a little hard to use the hack chat on Hackaday IO, or some folks couldn't get in. So what we did is we streamed the live text chat and our Discord chat. So the chats were in the chats and the chats.
Yeah.
And it was really neat. It was Naomi, and she does a lot of cool 3D printing stuff. She's in Shenzhen, and she was able to talk, I think, so perfectly about her experience in that location and what it's like getting supplies, or what's it like working with a factory. Really good advice on how to get suppliers to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, it was fantastic.
It was funny.
It was really funny.
And good.
And it was also just like, oh my gosh, like, what a cool thing to have someone able to say, here's what's going on so far away, and you never get a chance to talk to someone.
And what I like about her is she's really blunt. Like, she'll tell you, like, she doesn't, she'll speak in the way that, like, I think Americans understand. She uses, like, their idioms and their sense of, like, humor to explain things. So when the way she explained things, like, you and I get, like, immediately, rather than trying to, like, oh, there's this concept, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, this is, it's like, we had communism, so things are like this, and it's like, oh, I understand. Yeah, that makes sense now.
And if you even want to know, like, some of the culture right now in Shenzhen about getting stuff made, Bunny's book was like the roadmap, but this is almost like a translation that would go on top of it, I think.
Yeah.
Like, here's what it really means when you're going to be working with some of these.
One thing that I thought was interesting that she said that I agree with is people said, oh, do you have to be in Shenzhen to, like, do all this stuff? And she said, actually, not anymore, because almost everything's online. So maybe, like, 10 years ago, you had to be, on the ground in Shenzhen. But now, like, we do all of our sourcing and vendor communication.
She said it's fun to press the buttons. Like, some of the engineers will go there, but, like, you just order and it shows up the next day.
Yeah, you don't actually, it's the shipping is so fast now. I order samples and I get them almost immediately.
Okay. Also, Jump Park Workshop. Here's a trailer from the upcoming, now published, guide from Jump Park. Okay, Mailbag.
packet, the mailbag.
So we read your letters to the entire company every week. We also have them here. So this week's is from Mark. Thank you so much for featuring to my recent projects, Light Up Pendant and Animator Gadget. I'm finally catching up on my Adafruit viewing. Was totally blown away to see both features. It means a lot. See my heroes mention these simple projects with a straight face even, and I think the mentions have helped out some of our other maker clubs come out of their shell too. Thanks for creating a site and community where we all feel comfortable while being challenged to grow. Wednesdays are now small engine repair 101 instead of Adafruit night for me, but I'm already thinking of ways to incorporate Adafruit components in a weed eater motor into a project. Yes, I know, I'm scared too. Thanks again for everyone at Adafruit. You make the world a better place. Thank you.
Yay!
All right, you can also call and leave us a message on BitStab. At the end of the show, we give something away with that phone number, but you can also call anytime and leave a nice message for us. Okay, time travel. Look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers. Maybe there's some cool things going on in the future too. But first, this was Labor Day. And 1882, the first United States Labor Day parade was held in New York City. Happy birthday, Labor Day.
Labor Day is pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was Labor Day.
It's good.
Yeah. So this was it's a public holiday, first Monday in September. It's a federal holiday, and it honors the American labor movement. And it's
and the American workers that do so much. They built this whole thing.
Yeah, and it's considered the first official day of the end of summer.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like the end of summer.
Start school,
Yeah.
but also it's a good, it's a day, and I think people do recognize the value of having a good workplace with good benefits and treating each other well, and you're respected, and the work you do is fulfilling.
Speaking of, we had a series of blog posts, and so you and I had nothing to do with this. We just saw the post, and I thought that was cool. So our team talked to the people who are here, and they said, hey, do you want to talk about what you do here, and can we take your photo? So some people are into it, and they're like, yeah, sure. And so we have the photos from that. Check out the blog series. Just search for hashtag Labor Day.
Yeah, Takara,
and these are just some of the
Adrian,
folks
Garrett,
that work here, and they tell some of their stories.
Richard,
one of the stories
Isaiah.
that I liked was someone said, I really like working at a company where the owner, the founder, the engineer is a woman. That's neat, because that's a rare thing.
It is unusual.
Yeah, and they're like, I really like that. And this person has to be a woman too, so I think that's cool, because you can always imagine, like, I could run this place one day too, because you run this place.
I do.
So, okay, so check out that series of posts on our site. Next up.
Yeah, they're sweet. What's
Happy
neat is some people
birthday.
talked about. Sorry, but one thing that I thought was neat was some people talked about like how much they liked Adafruit, and some people just talked about like, this is what I like doing.
Yeah, or like, I like this video game or
Yeah.
something. So they just talked about themselves.
This is fine.
It's good. It's good to have. And so some company owners emailed me, and they're like, that was a really good series. I want my company to do that. So that's why we do a lot of stuff like this. We want people to copy us. So paid time off for charity, that worked out well. Other companies said, oh my gosh, I want to do that as well. So we like that. Like, copy our code, copy our hardware. And when I say copy, I mean, like, that's what open source is for. Like, use it to learn from, make stuff. But also, you could do things with your company that if it works out, if you share that, maybe people will do that too. Okay.
Okay. All right, let's continue. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay. Happy birthday, Hackaday. So,
Happy birthday to
13
you.
years ago, to the day yesterday, I started a site called Hackaday. That was...
Never heard of it.
So, what I did was I emailed Elliot Phillips, Caleb Kraft, and Mike Stitch. Caleb and both Elliot formally ran the site after I handed it off to... and I go into the story. I handed it off, and then I was doing stuff with Make. I was doing stuff with Popular Science, and then eventually we were doing stuff together. But Hackaday wasn't part of the sale that happened with AOL. AOL bought Engadget. I was the second editor, author at Engadget, and Hackaday was left out. AOL, from what I understand, so we don't want anything with the word hack in it. So I go through the history, and then I had sent kind of like an interview over email to the past editors and then the current editor, Mike. So check that out. And then I started an idea, which is instead of comments online, because I'm always trying to experiment with communities and figuring out what works. So instead of just comments on a blog post or a Facebook comment or like people just hitting like, we say, oh, do you want to discuss this article and ask more questions? Go to our Discord chat with the Hackaday article topic. So it's working out. People are asking other questions.
I have a question. In Discord, is there a way to do like hashtags too?
Yeah, that's how you get the Sparky pin. But if you have a channel, that's easy. But if you put a hashtag, you can search for that.
So for like a week, you have for the article.
Yeah, because I read this thing. It's like the way they picked on Facebook, which makes sense because it's one of the most popular ways people communicate. And they said, people really aren't like comments and just and it isn't really the way we interact. This is very recent. And they said it would be cool if it was like, hey, I want to talk about this more together, instead of like thumbs down or like comments online are kind of crummy. And I thought that would be kind of neat. So people are already asking some good questions. I'll answer all of them in the Discord, and you can search for them and look for them at any time.
Oh, cool.
And I'll probably grab all of them and put them part of the blog post. So this is neat.
Yes, community feedback.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So happy birthday, Hackaday! 13 years. Woo! They still use my logo that I designed. Still
cool
the still the exact same logo.
That's a cool logo.
See.
It's lasted longer than most companies' logos.
Yeah. Seattle Mini Maker Fair, New York, and Open Hardware Summit. So
these are coming up. Yeah,
these are coming up, and we'll probably have some things surrounding it. Like I said, we're doing some stuff in Discord chat, so you'll be able to tune along. And we're a sponsor of Open Hardware Summit. Our logo is definitely on the site now. We were corresponding with them. It wasn't on there, but it is on there. So if you thought we weren't a sponsor, there was an error.
We refreshed the page.
There was an error, and now the logo's back. So that's done. Maker Fair, Mini Maker Fair is in another week, and then Maker Fair New York end of the month-ish, week before the end of the month. Okay, some Maker business news. Other mill is now called Bantam Tools.
Chicken bot.
Yeah. So we actually saw Bree yesterday, and he said, oh, tomorrow we're announcing. So they're rebranding the company. It's now Bantam Tools. They're going to have probably because now it's tools, so that means there's a lot of other stuff coming. Mm-hmm. And we're going to probably do an interview with Danielle. We've had her on the show before. I like one of the things they did, and this is kind of another Maker Biz thing. So they focus exclusively and specifically on PCB making.
It is now a PCB milling
they're
machine.
like, you can do other stuff, but this is what we know people are using it for.
Which is kind of, when you talk about businesses and positioning, I know you bring this up a lot. Like I remember when you were talking about the Chumby, because it was such a generic tool. Yeah, it's actually hard for a lot of people. Like a CNC tool, it's actually hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around what it does.
Yeah, I think both marketers and engineers fall into the same thing. Like it does everything, and they try to have a long list of things it does. I think when you launch a product, if it does one thing really well, then you build trust, and then people will want to use it for other stuff. But being really surgical, especially when you're a startup, like this does this the best. This.
It also reminds me a little bit, like laminators, like paper laminators, end up getting used for like circuit board transfer and like sous vide heat sealing and like there's like 5,000 things that people use those generic like little roll laminators for, but it's called a laminator. Yeah. And I think people are more flexible and willing to reuse a tool than to like go through and understand what like a CNC G code machine is.
But I thought this was
good. Interesting.
So we'll see. They have a bunch of stuff planned. They released some new software. So check it out. I'll have
some hardware add-ons.
Yeah, I'll have a Maker Business post, I think, soon about that. So anyways, it was good also to see Bree. I haven't seen Bree in a while. Okay. Next up, open source hardware. We do it. We have tutorials.
Zong.
We have 1,284 tutorials. Ada, what are the tutorials this week?
Okay, so this week, let's see what we added this week. I think we started with the microbit puppet. So we made that live. So this is a radio controlled puppet with 2 microbits, and one microbit controls this little puppet, and the other one sends messages. So you can have it like wave when you get an email or like a tweet or something, or you can just remotely control it. So it's fun. I like that it's like cardboard and brads. It's just using cardboard and stuff you've got in your craft bin. So it's a really easy to build puppet, and then one servo that shakes it. So it's a fun little project. The Echo 2XL, that's Colin's project. He did a video, Colin's Lab, about that, on how to hack an Amazon Echo into a 2XL and also make it sound like a 2XL. So that's kind of a cool project. Circuit Python Basics, Analog Inputs and Outputs. We have another in our Basics series of Circuit Python. We're going to get all those out of the way and then get into bigger projects. That's by Tony DeCola. Analog In, Analog Output, which you have on the SAMD, and then also PWM outputs are all covered with CircuitPython in a lot of detail. So if you're interested, check those out. They will cover everything you need the mini pinball table guide with the Gemma M0. It's a solderless and no real construction abilities or tools needed. Pinball table that fits an iPad. It's configurable because it's just extruded aluminum, so you can use any size tablet. If you don't have the exact same one, just make it wider, and you cut it a little wider, and it works great. This week's 3D Hangouts project's the DIY projector for the Nintendo Switch, which is pretty cool. It's a modified dock and a little mini projector, so we'll talk about that, show a little video. And then this week's new product, the APDS 9960 Proximity Ambient Light RGB and Gesture Sensor. We'll talk about that in new products. So we're almost up to 1,300 guides.
Yeah, getting there. Okay. Also, don't forget, we're still doing the buy one, give one with Girls Who Code. If you buy a Circuit Playground Classic from DigiKey, they give one to Girls Who Code. We have Adafruit Daily. That's our no spam newsletter. Electronic tips, 3D printing, biohacking, cosplay, maker business, all that. Subscribe, Adafruit Daily. That's where it's at.
Right, suggesting. Hi.
Some factory footage. So we have a few things. We also have some videos from our support team, and I wanted to play those. So we have, because that's like we're in a factory, but also there's humans.
There's people here.
Yeah, so we have checking the status of your order and then returning your order. And these are handy. So these are on our YouTube channel, and like video seems to be the way that a lot of people want to digest information. So we have that information there. So I wanted to play both of them, and then we'll do some factory footage. So here you go.
Let's do it.
Checking the status of your order. Here's how you do it.
How do I do that?
How do you do it?
I'll find out.
We'll show you.
Checking your order status is easy, whether you have an Adafruit account or checked out as a guest. If you have an Adafruit account, simply log in and click the My Account link at the upper right of the page. Then click on Order History. This will show all the orders, invoices, and tracking information. You can click Order Details to see each order, or click Invoice to get a copy of your invoice. You can also click the tracking number to display the shipping updates from the shipping service you selected. Of course, you can still check your order status if you checked out as a guest. Click Sign In and use the right-hand column on that page, which is for guests checking their order status. You will need the email address that was used to place the order as well as the Adafruit order number. Mouse over the Where Do I Find This section for more help. You can find the order number in your order confirmation email. If you can't find your order confirmation email, check your spam folder. Many order confirmations end up there. If you still can't locate it, email support@adafruit.com. Include the date of the order, your full name, email address, and shipping address so our team can locate your order number. Once you have your details, simply fill in the field and click Check Order Status. That's it! Thanks for shopping with us, and be sure to subscribe for more customer support videos from Adafruit.
And here's how to return your orders. I don't know why you would, but here's how.
To buy other stuff.
Buy other stuff.
I don't know why I ordered so many extra NeoPixels. My Cyberfalls wig is perfect. And I ordered this Arduino Uno instead of an Arduino Gemma for my next project. Darn it.
This can happen to anyone. You order the wrong product or you no longer need it for your project. Don't worry. Returning an Adafruit item is easy. Adafruit only accepts returns of unopened items in resellable condition. If your order was shipped domestic, it must be returned within 30 days of receipt to qualify for a refund. For international orders, we must receive the return within 30 days from shipment. Returns past 30 days are only exchangeable for store credit. For returns of items valued at $500 or more, we charge a 5% restocking fee. Contact support@adafruit.com before returning any item for an RMA. Depending on the time the order was placed and the item, we may not be able to issue a refund or store credit. Make sure to send it with trackable shipping and insurance, because if we don't receive your return, we can't give you credit. We recommend UPS and plenty of tape. Customers are responsible for return shipping unless an item arrives defective or damaged.
Oh, you know, I had a problem with my celebration glasses, and I can't tell if it's the trinket or me.
For technical support questions, or if you believe your item is defective or damaged, make sure you create a post in the forums. Our colleagues in the engineering and technical support forums will be happy to assist you and can authorize replacements or returns if necessary. If you need help posting on the forums, this video should help. And don't worry, we'll be here for you when you get back. We're reasonable people, and we hope that you are too. Contact us if you have any questions, and we will do our best to help you out. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more customer support videos from Adafruit.
Okay, and we also show where to get help and all that. So we have some other footage. This is the sunrise outside the windows of the Pick and Place in New York City here.
This is great. I don't want to get up early to see the sunrise. So
this is what it looks like,
This
Lady
is
Ada.
just as good
This is what it
without
looks like.
the getting up early.
And we also have, this is adding some of the conductive paste to the the stenciler, and this pushes it through to the circuit board.
Mmm, tasty.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the fresh new product, so it's a really clean stencil.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that first stencil.
It's like that first cup of coffee.
Ooh. Fresh.
So our little robot friend helps, and it squeegees it on, and then it squishes it to the circuit board.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
Now the other way.
We used to do this by hand, but now we have a robot friend that helps
And we
us.
did it very happily by hand,
Yeah.
but it's just happier to not do it by hand.
And we have a little bit more. So this is the top view of what's going on.
Zoop.
And even with all that precision, occasionally things don't work out. And this is a time where too much got on.
So much.
Rare, but we wanted to show what happens. So if too much gets on the board, it goes through the line. That's something that can happen.
Kind of fascinating.
Yeah. And then last up, we have stickers on our laptops. So the team made a little video of the stickers on our laptops.
Okay.
Yeah. And because we had a sunrise, why not a sunset?
It's like the day. It's like a day in the life of Adafruit.
It is like a day of life of Adafruit. There's a moon and a plane. Okay, some big IoT news. This is Nimbus, the friendly cloud entity, bringing you some breaking news about Adafruit IO.
Hi, it's Nimbus with some news.
So Adafruit IO is our service for makers. Lets you do IoT stuff. You have knobs and charting and data logging, all the stuff that you want to do with these internet connected devices. So our update is, for all the folks who've asked, I want more feeds, I want more. Well, we're going to have a plus version. So it's coming soon. We announced it. Easiest way to stream, log, and interact with your data. Devices we support, Adafruit stuff, of course, Arduino, Microbit, Raspberry Pi. We tried to make this for everyone, including educators, so you can check out the coming soon stuff on our page, and you'll be able to see all the features that we have. We have a tier of pricing, so we're always going to have a free version no matter what.
Always.
But if you want to do more than what's available for free, we have a way.
All of the projects that we have, you'll be able to use for free. But if you're like, okay, I want to have 50 sensors.
Yep, we abide by our Internet of Things Bill of Rights that we came up with, so you can always get your data out if you want. Pricing model is going to be $10. All the feeds you can get, and you'll see some of the previews of all of the triggers, all the parts of the account, the dashboards, the API docs. So we have a preview on it. Check it out on the blog. Yay.
Yay.
People want to do more, and we're like, okay, we have a way for you to do more.
Yep.
So don't worry, you'll always have free, but
And we will
folks wanna do more.
always fix bugs and make sure
Yeah.
that the free accounts always work, because if you're buying the hardware, you want the software to work with it, and so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But this will just help us develop and hire even more people.
Yeah, and one of the things that always comes up, I think, for IoT companies is they'll have something for free and everyone uses it, and then they run out of money. So for us, we're just like, well, we can have a free version because we're a hardware company, we sell hardware, and then for the people who want to do more, and it's not a huge number of people, but it's significant, we have a way for them to give us a small amount of money so we can at least cover our costs and maybe even invest in more features and
That's
services. So check that out. Okay, 3D printing. Naomi Pedro, 3D printing up a storm. Literally, they're in Florida. They're taking care of their home right now because there's a hurricane on their way. So thoughts and dry wishes to Naomi Pedro.
But even if the power goes out, they can play Switch.
Oh, you're right. Let's watch that video.
Let's watch this video.
In this week's project, we'll show you how to DIY your own portable projector for the Nintendo Switch. We designed and 3D printed a custom dock that holds an off-the-shelf Pico projector. This of course allows you to project gameplay from the Switch to just about any surface. And although the Switch is already portable, using a projector instead of a TV is a novel idea in those situations where it makes sense. This Pico projector is about $100 on Amazon and has relatively decent specs. It's portable, easy to use, and has a built-in speaker. Compared to the official dock from Nintendo, our 3D printed version is much slimmer and exposes the electronics, showcasing our DIY goodness. For a full list of parts we used in this project, be sure to check out our tutorial linked in the description of this video. The 3D printed parts are fairly easy to make with most common home desktop 3D printers that are on the market. And if you don't have access to a 3D printer, you can always order our parts by visiting our Thingiverse page and have someone local 3D print the parts and ship them to you. Now to make this work, we did repurpose the electronics from the official dock. So we'll need to do a proper teardown, which is actually pretty fun and easy. To get inside the dock, we'll need a special tri-wing screwdriver, which was included in our 38-piece screwdriver set. We'll need to remove a handful of screws found behind the latching panel. Once removed, you can easily lift the half of the shell to reveal the main circuit board. The board itself is held in place with these little clips. But before we take it out, you'll want to disconnect the main ribbon cable by releasing the latch and carefully pulling it out. Then we can remove the board by freeing it from the clips. Be careful not to pull it all the way out because we need to disconnect the JST cable from the board. And with that, we've liberated the board from its dark injection molded prison. Next, we'll need to remove these additional screws to get to the USB-C connector. We'll need to switch from the tri-wing screwdriver to a Phillips head. This guy is sandwiched in between the two halves of the enclosure. Now we can pull the two halves apart and flip the assembly to reveal the underside. Here are 4 more screws which secure the USB-C connector. Once removed, we can see 2 springs and a mounting plate housing the USB-C connector. We'll need to remove this cover, which reveals even more screws. These 2 remaining screws secure the USB-C assembly to the mounting plate. Once removed, we can then pull it out. Now we can work on mounting the components to the 3D printed dock. We'll start by inserting the USB-C connector to the bottom of the dock. We'll repurpose these screws and use them to secure the PCB to the bottom. Then we'll connect the ribbon cable back onto the main PCB, making sure it's in the right orientation. Next, we'll position the main PCB over the standoffs on the side of the dock and line up the mounting holes. Hold the PCB in place while inserting and fastening the machine screws. Using longer screws, insert them from the top and fasten until slightly protruding from the bottom. Then install the brackets perpendicular with the dock. While holding them together, fasten the screws until fully tightened. We'll need to repeat this process for the second bracket. And that's pretty much it for the assembly. Of course, you'll want to double check to make sure everything is tight, and then go ahead and test it out. The 2 brackets can then simply slide onto the Pico projector. For the HDMI connection, we're using these DIY parts that are super slim and low profile. These bare PCBs have little locking latches, so it's easy to make your own configuration. With the accompanying ribbon cable, you can put together a regular HDMI to mini HDMI, and these are surprisingly hardy once locked together. The Pico projector features a mini HDMI connector, so we can plug in our cable and hook it up to the other end on the main PCB. Any excess ribbon cable can be tucked underneath. The bottom of the projector features a tripod adapter, so you can screw in a small tripod to easily prop it up. I recommend a pan tilt swivel head so you have more control. And that's pretty much it. Our little Pico projector isn't the brightest on the market, but it is fairly inexpensive. We've had it laying around for a while and we thought we'd put it to use in this project. We like to think of this more of a prototype and a proof of concept. We hope this inspires the DIY community to take a stab at making their own mods for the Nintendo Switch. We had a lot of fun during the teardown and hope it serves as a future reference for anyone looking to do something similar. Don't forget to check the links in the description of this video for our written tutorial along with the tools and parts we used to make this project. And if you'd like to see more DIY projects with 3D printing, be sure to subscribe for weekly projects. Hey, you can even join our notification squad so you can know exactly when we drop a new video.
And we have, you asked for this. You're like, where is my sped up skull lamp?
I totally want a skull
Where's
lamp.
my sped up skull lamp?
Yeah, where is it?
It's right here.
Okay.
Okay, and don't forget, every Thursday, 3D Hangouts with Noah and Pedro, they show you how they make all this stuff.
I got rid of the Thursday so you don't get confused about that anymore.
Yeah.
It only took us like 2 years.
Well, with multiple, we broadcast a lot of video, and so there's multiple places where we broadcast video from. So even with Dropbox and trying to keep it all together, it's a little challenging.
I know.
One mistake was made. Just one slide, but we fixed it.
No, but now it's correct. Now it's done. Now it's 3D Hangouts.
Perfect. And we can even change the days and not have to change the slide.
No, yes.
Okay.
We're future-proofing.
Microbit Monday. We have microbit projects that we publish every Monday, and it starts with an M, so we call it Microbit Monday. This is neat because there's a lot of really useful projects, especially for young people, and you can use a microbit, and they're simple, but when you think about it, it's like, wow, the technology that kids today have. So this is a pitch counter with a microbit, so it keeps track of how many times you throw.
Yeah, it's like a timer.
Yeah, so maybe it's like, well, I know my arm hurts if I throw it like 20 times, so it keeps track of it for you. That's cool.
That's great.
Super neat little idea.
A little rep counter.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do that too.
Yeah.
For Pi Day, which is every Friday, I picked this project. I like to kind of find projects that are really neat. This made the rounds on the internet. So this is a 3D printed camera case, and then when you take a photo, it takes a few frames and then it puts it on another little screen inside of it.
Yeah.
And this is all powered by like Adafruit stuff and Raspberry Pi. So it's like, it's physical, digital, all in one.
I think it's adorable because it's like it's like a cartridge, and even if you don't get to keep it, just the fun of holding a GIF Polaroid.
That's cool.
It's cool.
Super neat project. So check out raspberrypi.org. It's, I think, the current featured project on the Raspberry Pi site.
Yay!
Okay.
Yep.
Lady Ada, before you do new products, go to Pinball.
Okay, I gotta grab my new product bin.
Yeah? Okay.
Doing that right
I'll
now.
wait till you get over here before you start singing.
We have a new system where I have a bin now.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
It's a good system though. Okay. New.
Okay. If you have an Adafruit account, you can sign up to get an email.
New news.
Product. Yeah, but you have to sign up for it.
You must sign up.
And
We
you
will
have to have
not
an
sign you
account.
up.
Yeah, we don't do that.
You have to fight to sign
We
up.
don't do the pop-up thing or anything like that. No.
In fact, the sign up box, it hides from you because it's so hard to sign up. That's awesome. But
Not from us, but when... Oh, you mean... Oh, yeah.
it's so hard to sign up.
Yeah, we're like, you don't really want to sign up.
You don't want to sign up for a newsletter,
So-
but if you really wanted to, you can.
Anyways, so we have that. Okay, let's kick it off. This
Okay.
is our new line of products. This is Stemma. We're going to be talking about this a bunch. However, we wanted to show it to you as we put this stuff in the store.
Yeah, so we have
Lady Ada,
one. We've started with one board, and we're going to be putting in more, but I wanted to start with the simplest one, the TSL 2561, which is one of our most popular sensors. So we have breakouts for use with breadboards, and like the sensor I'm talking about later, the APDS, comes breakout friendly. But we found that a lot of people are starting to use wearable boards like the Microbit, the Circuit Playground, Gemma, Flora, and they want to use alligator clips for like really quick prototyping. And people had been using our Flora boards, but they're not really designed for alligator clips. So we thought, okay, let's take our Flora sensors and make them bigger and easier to use, because it's okay usually if your wearable board's a little bit larger, and just makes it easier to sew even. You have, mounting holes and sew spots. So we're going to do a couple of these and a couple different designs. And they come with a connector. It's a stemma cable, which we also have in the store. You have that in the store a couple weeks ago, which is a 4-pin JST-PH cable. And the way I designed it is if you're using the Grove system from Seed, which is a really awesome, like hundreds of sensor boards, you can use Grove cables in it, and they will fit. And then you can use this with your Grove stuff, or you can use it with alligator clips or sewing. So it's kind of like plug and play / alligator clip. And then for more advanced people who want to do soldering, or they want to have a very small, setup, we have the breakouts. And all of the stemma boards are designed to be 5-volt or 3-volt safe, because a lot of people are using Arduino still, or they're using 3-volt. And we're going to go through and make sure that we have like CircuitPython code for all of these as well, so we can use them with CircuitPython and maybe even make code. So that's all going to happen. Okay. We only started with one. So this is the first one. Yeah. So we got alligator clip pads, 2 mounting holes, which are just plain holes. The sensor in here, Phil B did a really lovely silk screen. Let me zoom in. And then all the pin connections are labeled here and also on the bottom. And, it has the default I2C address labeled because it's a common question. And then you can set the I2C address differently. If you have a soldering iron and you're more advanced and you want to do that, you can do that. We don't do that for you by default. And then, so this is the TSL 2561 Lux sensor, but you're going to see we're going to do a bunch of other different sensors. Yeah,
what we found talking to educators was sometimes they can solder, sometimes they can do alligator clips, and sometimes they just want to plug stuff in. So we got it all.
So instead of trying to fit everything into like breadboard / sewing / plug and play, we're going to keep with the breadboard friendly breakouts they're very advanced. They have everything. And then for simplicity, like, there's an interrupt pin on this chip, but we don't expose it because like not a lot of people need it. So this is for basic projects, beginners, teaching. And because it has all the protection circuitry, I connected like 12 volts in all sorts of different ways, and you can't break it very easily.
Stemma is kind of like Gemma, and it's STEM. Yay.
Yeah, it's round. It works with Gemma.
Yeah.
And so we'll see more of those, but we're going to start with the first one. Just like the feather line, we released one, and then we'll release more and more.
Yeah, what do we have, like 52 feather wings now?
I think we have 75
75 feather wings?
Total boards,
So there'll be more stems for Stemma.
And there's a new feather wing coming next week.
Okay. All right.
So that's the Stemma.
Noah and Pedro did a video a long time ago, hydro dipping for fidget spinners and other 3D printed things. And now we have the materials to let you do that.
Yes.
So
it looks like a white rectangle.
It looks like a piece of paper, but it's more than that.
But it's more than a piece. Yeah, I know. So you get this A4 paper. So it's a nice big sheet of paper, but it'll fit in like almost every printer. And you print your design on with inkjet, and colors are great. It works best with kind of abstract or repeating patterns, just because if you're trying to like line up your shape with the ink outline, it's gonna be tough. Like it's hard to really, because you're doing it at an angle, it's not easy to get it lined up. So that's why for the image of the fidget spinner, it's kind of got the circuitry.
Yeah, it works great.
That works perfectly, because it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly wrapped, aligned, a certain way. But anyways, just something to watch out for. And you get 10 sheets that you can cut and reuse, so you don't have to use one project per sheet. You can put like 4 projects on it if it'll fit, and then cut them out and do them separately. And you're using your inkjet printer. It takes a little bit of practice, but we have a video with Noe and Pedro that teaches you a lot of how to use it and some good tips and tricks. But it does take a couple tries. But you can clean it off and try again. So practice with something that isn't your gold-plated heirloom watch, and then move on to the heirloom watch.
Okay. Next up.
Hydro dip.
We have an update. We
have put these Pi Zero packs back in the shop, and we've also updated them. They're the Pi Zero Classic, not the Pi Zero W. We basically just, I think, updated the power supply and the contents, and it comes with our case now. So I think the price is a little bit higher because the kit comes with a case now.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of bucks more, but it's a very nice complete kit. So you get the budget and the starter kit for Pi Zero.
Okay.
And then we also have the Pi Zero W. This one is without wireless, but it's less expensive.
Yep. People ask for it. They're like, when is it coming back? It's back. Okay. Next up, we have a refresh, an update.
Update. This is a long time coming, but
Yeah.
we finally did it. We've updated the Pi thermal printer kit. It is, that's the old kit, but we have a new kit that has even fewer parts, is easier to put together. And it now works with, it has a cups printer, so it's much better quality printing and much smoother. It works with the Pi Zero. Pi Zero W is a really good board to use it with.
Yeah.
Pi 3, Pi 2, Pi B Plus. So it's, you know, it's mechanically it's changed. The same thermal printer, the power supply is smaller, so it's not as chunky and expensive, and that's really nice. We have a 4 amp power supply in the shop that works perfectly well. I can show some of the output.
Yeah, let's go to the overhead.
Okay, let's go to the overhead.
We have it set to print our tweets.
Yes, I can show from earlier when I was running this. So this is the, it went to the Pi Zero W. So the Pi Zero W is a really good board to run it with because it can be nice and small, but it still has that wireless connectivity. So it does wireless printing. And then we've got our thermal printer in here, a nice enclosure that you can put together with a screwdriver. This nice cloud. And then this is an example of the output. We'll have, when we put it in the shop, we'll probably have a video demo as well. But for this one, it starts up, it gives you the forecast, it prints your Sudoku puzzle for the day, and then it will print out your daily tweets. And then you can request, you know, the weather and current status by pressing the button if you want to sort of give an update. Other than that, it'll just sort of print tweets whenever, and every 6 hours it'll print you the forecast. So we're going to put this back in the shop. Sign up because we're going to start putting kits in very soon if you would like to build this. But we did a refresh and it's better than ever.
Okay. Next up, we have alligator clips.
More of them. This is a pack of 18. So you get 6 colors, 3 pieces. We had some people request that they're like, well, you have 12, but I need a little bit more than 12. So we have 18 now. It's 50% more, but you get 50% more clips. That's kind of it. These are nice clips.
Okay.
They're good quality. They're nice and rubbery. They're not too hard to open. The clips are the small.
Assorted colors and more.
Lots of different colors.
Next up, what are these?
We have also APA 102 dots on a cut tape
tiny.
strip. So we have stocked these in 10-piece parts, but there's some people who are like, hey, I really need 100 pieces or more than 10, and I don't want to keep getting these small strips. Especially if you have a small pick
They want
and
something
place.
like this. They want to make something like this.
They want to make something like this that has 64 pixels or more.
So this is not what you get. This is what you get.
But if you want to make
But you want to make this, you got to go with
that.
this.
So these are the
You want
smallest
this? Gotta go with that.
digitally addressable pixels I've ever seen, but they're the same cost as NeoPixels. They use the dot star protocol, but they're nice and bright and they're very small, and you can, you know, the pins are arranged in a good way. You can kind of put them next to each other and chain them very easily. So they're chainable digital LEDs, and you can see the chip there, and then the chip in is the kind of the top kind of tan rectangle, and then below that are the red, green, and blue dyes, so you get full color control.
That's what that is.
So if you want a whole bunch of NeoPixels, and I can show them on the overhead, but they're just really small.
Yeah.
Want to do that?
Yeah, we got to call Adam and get a giant electron microscope to show some of these.
Yeah,
products
they're just really
Look,
teeny.
it's magic dust.
These are like, you know, the bare ones, but it comes in a strip, so they're nicely organized and packaged for you. So I'm going to keep these for prototyping, but handy for those who need it. So those who requested it, now you can get 100.
Okay. Next, the star of the show tonight, besides you, lady.
The APDS 9960. I started this design, I think, like 3 years ago, but I finally put it in the store. Thanks to Dean for helping me wrap this one up. This is a really cool all-in-one sensor. It's one of the most chock full of sensors we've got. It's got a light sensor, a color sensor, an IR sensor, a proximity sensor, and a gesture sensor, all in one. And it doesn't cost that much more than like any one of those sensors on their own. And you get it all in a nice little package here. We have an Arduino library for it. It's got, so the light sensor is pretty simple. It's just a clear light sensing for, you know, just ambient light. It's got a red, green, blue filter sensor, so you can use it to, if you shine light on something, the color light will reflect off and then you'll be able to detect it. So you can detect the color of objects or detect the color of light if you want to do like color matching for like tungsten light versus fluorescent light. You can detect light temperature or light color. The IR sensing is interesting. So it's got 4 IR sensors, up, down, left, right. It's got, in a grid, and it shines the IR LED. You can see that it's the bottom little dot of the sensor. It shines it, and then it can detect the amount of light that is hitting all 4 of those sensors, which means that with a little bit of code, what you can do is sense the changes across those 4, and by sensing those changes, you can kind of tell something moving in front that's bouncing the IR light. You can sort of tell which way that thing is moving. So not only can you tell if something is close or far, like proximity sensing, but you can also do, very basic motion and gesture sensing. So I have a little demo that I can show. So this is, so you can actually see the little IR dot because it's in IR mode. And I have this hooked up to, just my feather with an OLED. And this is tricky. I hope this works. It's always a little tough with these gesture sensors. Left, right. So you can see, you can move a little slowly, but it does detect which way you're moving. And then I can go up, down, up, yeah.
This is
down.
cool.
So you see, it's like it doesn't catch all of them. And I have to not bump into the wires.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I think I just bumped into the wires and I reset it.
Maybe.
Hold on. There you go. Left and right are good. Let me do up and down. I just have to move slowly enough. And if you move in the right speed and, a couple inches above it, you can detect the direction by like looking at those levels. So we have up, down, left, right as a gestures built into the library. But you do get that raw data. So, if you want to make your own sensing directions, you could have it do like, circular motion or like zigzag motion or, close and left. You can do all sorts of stuff like tilted, as long as you can measure those 4 cardinal location IR sensors that are in the package here. So it's kind of a neat sensor. It's got a lot going on in it. That's why I like it. It's a really good price.
Yeah.
So you get a lot with the sensor. So we have Arduino code, so if you are using this with any microcontroller that uses the Arduino IDE, they'll just work.
Okay. And with that, Lady Ada, is new products. Good work. You did it. Thank you, everybody who works on new products with us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do top secret.
Jam-packed.
Let's do top secret,
Yeah,
then we'll
sure.
answer some
I got a
questions.
quick top secret.
All right, from the Adafruit Vault. You can't ask questions about these products.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to do some microbit stuff.
Microbit stuff.
So this is, I made a little, like a breadboard, like a tea cobbler, but from microbit. So this is just us getting the little demo going where it blinks every LED. There's a lot of GPIO on this thing. Then you can plug your microbit in, and then you get like power rail connections and stuff. So I think this will be kind of useful. You get a lot of space on the breadboard, which I like compared to the cobbler, because there's not that many pins. All right,
Okay.
so it's not out yet.
Okay, back in the vault.
Back in the vault with you.
Bye. Okay, well, let's answer some questions. We'll pop over into the Discord chat. So if you're in Discord, start typing up your questions. And what we'll do is we'll pop over it to once in a while. And the way we'll do that is I'll say, oh, there's a question, Lady Ada.
And then you'll press the
I'll just
button.
put the chat here.
Bang.
So, Adafruit, is there a new Metro Mega in the plans? I need more inputs.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah. I saw this earlier and I said the answer is yes, but I can't say when or even
There's
yes for
absolutely
sure.
no ETA.
Yeah, but it's down the road. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But we'll get to it. Okay. Any ESP32W rower feather on the way?
We have an ESP32 feather that probably does what you want. It's built on the Waroom module, which the rover is the it's their eval board. We don't have an eval board. We just have feather wings and stuff. But you can do the same stuff. And we have an ESP32 feather that breaks
Gotcha.
out all the pins.
Where's Tony D? According to Tony D's Twitter, he's on a Mountain Rainier. He did a mountain climbing thing. That's where he is. Next, what distance on the Adafruit ADP? What is the distance on the Adafruit ADP 9960?
It's a couple of centimeters. I would say, I think when I tested it was like 6 to 8 inches or so, I think. Somewhere like 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 inches. It's not super far. like the small IR projects. That's the distance sensor. And then you can calibrate it depending on your project, what it's reflecting off of.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to hit some of the other chats and see how that works out. Even though the best place to ask the questions are in the Discord chat and the live stream channel. Let's see, I'm a newbie. I'm looking for this. Can't find. I'm trying to find out what I need to make a target that falls down and resets after being hit by an IR laser light gun. So I guess they'd hit the target, then it falls down and resets.
Something with like a continuous rotation servo would probably be good because it could lower it.
That's a good idea.
You know, you'd put on a spool and the spool would like raise and lower the target. And continuous rotation servos are really easy to use. So that'd be a good thing to start with.
Okay. Oh, someone want to know what was the discount code? It's Pinball. 10% off in Adafruit store. All the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Let's see if there's any more questions before we give something away. I think we got a lot to them in the chat and text. Thank you, everyone in the community helpers who's answering questions as they're happening.
That makes it so easy for me.
That worked out really well.
Huzzah.
Thank you. All right. So, let's give something away. What are the rules for the trivia?
The rules are only one winner per my lifetime. So if you've won something before, you can't win again. So let's make it fair for everybody. The trivia question is really easy. When you call the phone number that's going to be displayed on the screen shortly, we're going to ask you your name, where you're calling from, and a project that you're working on or you want to work on. That's it. Those are the questions.
That's pretty easy.
If you answer those questions, we will send you a free APDS 9960 sensor so you can see how awesome this sensor is and how much sensing goodness you get.
That's cool.
It can be used for almost everything because it's got like 8 sensors in it.
Is this the only live call-in show where you win electronic sensors?
Yes.
I think so too. Okay. All right.
So call this number.
The phone lines are open.
We're going to ask you your name.
In like a second.
Yeah, 1 second. Name.
The phone lines are
where
open.
you're calling from.
That's the phone number.
And a project you're working on. That's the phone number. Ohm bit stab. We didn't ask for that number. That's the number we were given, and then we used one of those tools, and it said ohm bit stab.
Sometimes you got to stab the bits you're given.
Or ohm them.
Okay.
Hello, you've reached Ask Engineer, and you are a fabulous winner. Congratulations. Hello?
Hello.
Hey there, you're a fabulous winner of the Ask Engineer giveaway. Hooray, you've won an APDS sensor.
Thanks, great, that's awesome.
Yay! Okay, what's your name and where are you calling from?
It's Kate calling from Replicate Studios in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada.
Oh, cool. I think this is our first Canadian caller. Yes.
It's not, but
not.
but
I can say it is.
But let's pretend it is.
Let's pretend it is.
It's the first call from Canada tonight.
Okay. Okay, good. All right, Kate. Well, what's a project you're working on or you want to work on?
We're working on a crazy curtain holder for somebody who's in a wheelchair, and we're automating the curtain to go back and forth. So it's a tricky project.
Okay.
That involves some automation and some waterproof and an ambitious project. So.
Okay. Well, hopefully this sensor will help you because it can do proximity sensing. Maybe somebody can put their hands near something. It'll detect it before it puts the curtain over their hand.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, see, very handy. Okay, to get your sensor, it's all so easy. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com, say it's Kate from British Columbia. You have won a product number 3595, and they will send it to you as soon as possible.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, Kate.
Great. Thanks, you guys.
All right, have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Okay, you too.
All right, bye.
Okay,
all right,
congratulations,
thanks, Kate.
That was cool.
Cool.
More assistive technology. That's
yeah.
neat.
This is a good sensor for assistive technology. It can do proximity sensing, light sensing.
Yeah.
You can see, you can do gestures. It could be handy.
Okay. Well, that's our show for the night, Lady Ada. Good work.
We did it.
Don't forget pinball. 10% off an Adafruit store. And the party doesn't stop. Everyone can hang out all the time at adafruit.it/discord. And folks are helping each other out there. Hashtag Sparky and the show and tell or project help, and we'll start to send out some pins soon. We're getting set up for that. Thank you everyone who is part of the Adafruit team, both here and remotely and wherever they're at on planet Earth. And thank you all the community helpers and the Adafruit community and all the folks who showed up on this show and tell. And of course, special shout out, hug report to all the Adafruit team members that were in the Labor Day series. It really, it's neat for us to be able to show who we are.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we hope that's contagious. It would be really neat to see and hear the voices of people who work at companies. I think that would help understand what the company is all about, what's important to them, what's important to the people who work there. So anyways, I thought that was really neat. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
That was super cool. Okay, well, we'll see everybody next week. We might have a Desk of Lady Ada or something soon, and we have some other videos. John Park is tomorrow. So we'll see everyone very soon. Here is a picture of Mosfet the cat.
Who is stealing soup.
He ate my soup, and
He's
liked
a
it.
replicant.
And he liked it. And here's your moment of Zener.
Good night, folks.
Bye-bye, everybody.